Players.
Wow, Morrow, we're live, you racist.
This is Jackie Chan, guys? Does it look like Jackie Chan?
Oh my god, Jackie Chan!
Alright.
Tense is messaging me saying, by the way, give me HuK in my bracket.
Ooh.
Wow.
Intense.
He's mad at you, man.
He hasn't beaten me in a tournament in like fucking. I
You
don't
realize,
know.
like, that
He
one
gets
time...
He gets upset every time I come to SoCal and I take that free money. Don't hate. Don't hate. I'm in this shit, Intense.
Dude, what if, but
Fucking
hang on. What if
Bobby
this
Hill
has been, like,
motherfucker.
he's been losing to you on purpose all this time? Like, it's the long con, right? So now you are cocky, and you're like, this is going to be easy. Boom, open bracket, knocks you to the losers.
I play better when I'm cocky. Let him go.
What if, like, you know that one time you almost lost to him in WCS Challenger or Qualifiers or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
What if, like, he beat you that day and it was just, like, his breakout moment? And, like,
Yeah.
because you didn't...
I love to think about that. I like to think
Really?
like he had two paths in life.
Yes.
One he is currently on and he's miserable, and one where he actually beat me. And he didn't. And I'm happy that I ruined his life and he's on this horrible path right now. And I hope that those were the two cases there, and I just fucked his whole life up.
That's really...
Please tell me this is live.
Yeah, it is.
Good.
Alright. HuK's a savage. Alright, downsizing in 2015. Someone made a little post on Reddit, although you could say he was quick to jump at being alarmed or whatever, or panicking. But it's still interesting to talk about just in terms of stats. Tournaments in 2014 were up to 36 for the full year, and in 2015 it's down to 20. Chris, do you have anything to add to that?
Like, you're like one of those horrible news reporters that are like, so we heard that your team is being like playing horribly. You guys lost the championship. 3 of your players left. Looks like it's gonna be really shitty for you guys next year. Any comments? No, I got nothing to say, man. What do you want me to say? Like, okay, those are the stats.
Early StarCraft 2 where we used to do losers interviews.
Wait,
Yeah,
that really
Those were the
happened?
worst.
Yeah,
very
it's
early.
depressing as shit.
Yeah.
So, I just want to say, this is probably not the sole cause of things, but WCS has not stuck to a consistent schedule in all of 2015. And their schedule on the website has been wrong frequently, and I've been like pulling an error me, constantly nagging them and reminding them, please update the schedule on the website. And all of these things have made it really hard to work around WCS. But then even if you take that out of the equation, and there is still a significant amount of time between Premier and Challenger, and between Premier and the finals, you still run into this problem where that's where everybody's scrambling to do events. And it sucks because what few events there are right now are for whatever reason, overlapping each other. So you got IEM DreamHack and stuff like this. Those events overlapping cause less viewership. Less viewership means you're less likely to throw a tournament again. It's just it's this terrible spiral effect that everybody tries to scramble for like the small periods of time when WCS isn't. And again, I'm not saying WCS is killing the tournament scene, but it makes total sense that you're seeing less viewership, less return. Like maybe the sponsor starts dropping out. Like why would you continue running tournaments?
Yeah, I mean that's a very good point. It's just so awkward right now with the way WCS works. There's just nothing in place. I wish like season 1, season 2, season 3 is such like a simplified, lazy way to put them. You should have like spring, summer, fall, and just fucking have set dates and fucking call it a that, and then other tournament organizers can just go jump on a dildo if they had like this convention center that they wanted to use and there's no other like time for them to figure it out, right? Like it feels like they're trying to please everyone, and then by trying to please everyone and being undecisive, it actually hurts everyone else.
One of the other smaller factors, and this is definitely again a small factor amongst many factors, is WCS is like, in my opinion, too big as well. Not in terms of just that it consumes the time slots, but for players they have to invest into it. Like, if you're HuK and you go to Premier League, you're not fucking playing a random show match or even a small-time local LAN for fear of giving your builds away or making it more obvious how to beat you type thing. And because of this, we're seeing a lot less player participation in events as well. God knows I struggle to find people to cast if there's other big events like a WCS coming up. Or if they know their teammates are playing, they don't want to give away their practice partner's secrets. And I've heard all these things from many different players, not just North Americans, but Europeans and Koreans even. And again, it sucks because it kills participation. Suddenly, you don't have Jadon playing in your tournament or whoever playing in your tournament. Again, combined with all these other factors that I mentioned before and others that haven't been mentioned, it kills the desire to run tournaments. It sucks. WCS is, in my opinion, not the greatest thing to happen to StarCraft 2, and it's taken a long time to really get those effects to show, but they are starting to show. I feel like the guy who screams about global warming a little bit sometimes. But.
Chris, what do you think of what Graham said? Do you agree with that? As a player, obviously you have a different perspective on things, but still.
In general, yeah. If I'm playing in, let's say, like I have a match in a week playing for Premier League, and someone says, "Oh, we'll put you up against Jadong for $100. Do you want to play in that show match?" I'm not gonna really give a shit about $100.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. So yes and no. And then like the conflict of the schedule is obvious. I mean, we had the International, Cologne, and Gfinity all going on at the same time. So that's a constant issue too. I just feel like Blizzard's in a really weird spot where they're running a league similar to the way that LCS runs their league, but LCS literally / Riot have so much control over their market. Like they can dictate, you will do this and you will not do that, and we will run it the way we want to run it. And then we have Valve that literally says, we don't really give a shit what you guys do. We're going to have one big tournament, and you're not going to want to compete with us because it's going to be for millions of dollars. And then Blizzard's kind of like, well, we're going to have WCS, and you guys can still do what you want, but you can't do it on WCS, but you have limited time, and we're not going to control everything either. So it's like this weird, like, half and half walking. Like, I feel like as a publisher that's, pushing an esport game, you either got to like very much dominate the market or let it be like completely free. But walking the line of half and half, it's really hard to pump viewership or control anything.
I think a scary thing to look at too is it kind of gets like it's super glorified to watch something like GSL, and let's forget for a second like there's Pro League and SSL and stuff on the sides. Like you've got these two tournaments that are basically Korea WCS and nothing else like to run around them. The Alima League is the first like Korean tournament to pop up in a long time that wasn't run by one of the big KESPA teams. And it's not because things are super strict, it just really wasn't and isn't worth competing with the big boys, so to speak. So it kills the rest of the tournament scene. And this is worst case. This is like super apocalyptic, like it's not happening or anything. But I get kind of worried sometimes that that's going to happen with the foreign scene, where all of a sudden things like EPS or whatever it's called now, Meistercraft, or I'm sorry, I can't remember the new name of it. Like, do they start dropping off? Is all we're left with going to end up being WCS? Like, that would not be a good. That's not a StarCraft world I want to live in.
Why?
I think in general too, StarCraft 2 has always had this problem of not big enough things. Like there's so many events, like we always talked about like oversaturation a few years ago and stuff, but honestly there's so many small events. Like there's nothing, you don't feel overly hyped for anything besides BlizzCon, I feel. Like everything is just like this week there's this, next week there's going to be something very similar. So we have DreamHack, then we have IEM, and then we have, WCS group stages, and then like you have this like little blip of it's like, okay, WCS season finals, and then you have BlizzCon, which is the big like, okay, a lot of people are going to actually tune into that. But other than that, it's just like every week, every other week, there's another event that's about the same level as the other ones, and you don't really get hyped up for it because it happens literally like, every couple of weeks or so, and then it's just like, well, you got GSL, okay, that's on tonight, and then you have Pro League, okay, that's on like, a few times a week, and it's just like a constant thing. No one really gets hyped or pumped up for an event.
I agree with that. Like, I was thinking about that actually, like this morning or whatever, yesterday. I'm like, when's the last time I actually got really fucking excited to like watch StarCraft? And then I guess like Lilbo, finals of WCS, because he's French, like I have a connection there. Then maybe 2013, 2014, like when you were actually decent, like that was exciting. But then it's like it's just so much always all the time. It's gonna be interesting with Legacy because we might go back into being oversaturated again depending on viewership and everything.
Personally, I think the new system, from my perspective, I think everything is running a lot better compared to before. I was never a big fan of, random ass smallish tournaments like $10K random shit going all around, because this is like, it's literally like whatever. Whereas WCS is like, this is the shit. This is what everybody practices all their time for. Like, I wanted this league like GSL had. Like, if you win GSL, then you're the shit. And I wanted that for Europe and for, America. And now we got this, big ass WSS that everybody does their best in. And it's not like a DreamHack where Koreans go and top 20 of the players are Koreans and so on. So I really like how it's been going in 2015. Obviously, there's problems with the scheduling and so on. It's kind of like happening like a few games now and then no games for a week, and like a few games now and all that. It just goes on like that. So that's why it's so like it's so hard to keep up. Like, when is the games actually happening? When is this tournament gonna play out more games? So what happens is that you just check whatever is, you basically, like, if you want to watch StarCraft, you check what is on, like maybe within 10 hours. Like, you don't keep up with it beyond that, I feel. I think they could do a lot better job with the schedule. What's that?
Well, sorry, I'm getting a bit laggy on my end. I kind of going off what you said, like, okay, if you got WCS and it is the shit, you win it, it's the biggest deal. You're still not going to win it. You still have to deal with Koreans. You're still stuck in round of 16. Are you happy that all the other tournaments are gone and there's nothing else to play for you anymore? You don't have any money to sustain yourself. You can't be a player. Boom, rips the dream. I mean, I can kind of see where you're coming from, where it says like, hey, it's great that there's one big league that says like, okay, if you win it, you're the best. But there's so many people in the world who aren't going to win that. And I feel like if anything, this is going to kill. Like right now, we already have enough pro players bleeding out without new ones to take their places. You do that, all of a sudden it's like 10 times worse. There's not going to be anybody left. Nobody can afford to play StarCraft anymore. You kind of mentioned these rinky-dink 10K tournaments, say, and again, I'm not, make this very clear, I'm not taking personal offenses or anything with like anything I've run. But like, let's say you no longer have these $10,000 tournaments where you can go play and finish 4th place and get a couple $1,000. Can you still afford to keep playing StarCraft 2?
I think so.
I mean, let's just say this: what tournaments are not here that were here last year? Give me a few examples. Right
a lot of DreamHacks.
I am dropping it.
Yeah, I am. Red Bull is, well, it's Legacy. I don't know if it counts.
And the thing too is, it's not even just
Legacy's. I mean, Red Bull is going strong with the Arkham tournament is huge. There's tons of prize pool for that.
The point though is, and this is what I get worried about here with the extreme, is not that okay, it's only been dropped by a couple right now. It's that it's going to continue like getting dropped by more as time goes on.
I wouldn't put WCS to blame for DreamHack not being interested in StarCraft 2 anymore. I don't think it's their fault.
I don't think it's
maybe
fault,
because of the scheduling. Effects. Like maybe the scheduling, that it's been a bitch to cooperate with Blizzard and WCS and all that. But I mean, in general, I don't see, just because you have a big league which is WCS, why would that hurt, for example, DreamHack? I don't really understand that.
What I would like to do, what I would like to see ideally from tournaments, would be one, complete region locking for WCS. I feel like we see Koreans enough in every other tournament that it's justified that we don't need to see them in WCS as well. Two, and of course that's too little too late, but I would still like to see it. Two, I would rather see events host bigger things that were less frequent. even if we look at from it like an online cup or online tournament to like lands like IEM or DreamHack. That way that there's more hype. So let's say there's like one big LAN for maybe 2 or 3 times the prize money from IEM or DreamHack or Gfinity or whatever, then have it being so frequent, overlapping, and just like general viewer exhaustion from literally everything. I think Pro League is fine, but Pro League being overlapped by like so much shit constantly going on in StarCraft 2, it's a big hindrance, I feel, and it always has been for StarCraft 2.
So there's a big problem with that, though, when it comes to the money for things. Because the idea is, first off, where are you going to get this money to have this one extra big event instead of 4 little ones? And cost effectiveness certainly factors in, where if you can run 4 tournaments that get, say, 5,000 concurrent viewers for $5,000 per tournament, that's worth way, way, way more than one tournament with 20,000 viewers for the same overall prize pool. Because you're getting different uniques, and you're spreading out your brand, your sponsors, everything else gets spread out more and better through multiple tournaments, opposed to like having just this one big one. Like the international is cool as fuck, but I've already forgotten like 3 of the 5 names of the guys on any of the teams type thing. Like it's not like I can see where you're coming from. There's definitely more hype for one big thing.
Your first point is good, but to use the international as not a Dota 2 fan to say that you forgot about.
Okay, not a great example. My point is like think back to the last big event you went to. Like what are the sponsors for that tournament?
BlizzCon.
I don't know. No, I mean, my point though in general is like it's one big event's not memorable. Like you're not going to remember the sponsors. You're not going to give the return on the investment to the people hosting it or giving the money to have it happen. If it's one tournament that everybody forgets, but if it's 4 little ones that are maybe not as memorable, but there's been a longer impression on more different people, then that's worth way more. So the problem is that you're just simply like money doesn't come out of thin air. You're not going to have the money to do that one big tournament that would definitely be more hype and better. Like I agree with you that would be cool if we could do that, but I don't know where that money comes from. That unless Blizzards want to hand it out themselves, to like organizers like a DreamHack or something, I don't know where that comes from. Because the hardest thing I've learned so far is that getting money is a real pain in the ass.
One example I could do that I felt had a little bit of hype around it, and it kind of contests to my point, is when IEM put $100,000 into that one tournament. And I hated the format. Like, I do not approve of having an all-for-nothing tournament where literally the top prize gets everything. But at the same time, that event actually had a good amount of hype around it. And that's, something... I just feel like a big problem throughout StarCraft 2 has always been way too much oversaturation in literally every way.
That's why I think WSS is so good, because you have this consistent scheduling, so you have like games to watch over the whole course of the season, and then you have the build up for the WSS finals with 16 or 8 players. I'm not sure, but then you have that LAN event, right? And that's really hype, and you have that 3 times a year with WSS. So I don't see the problem with that format. Except it's, from day to day, it's hard to know exactly when the schedule is.
It's an interesting debate. Maybe we're lucky and Kim Fan watches this and gathers some feedback, some food for thought. We'll see next year where it goes. From 36 to 20, can it go up or can it go down? Hopefully with Legacy it goes up. And with that, let's move on to our last topic of the day. And then after that, we'll be reading your questions on Reddit and Twitter. You can type !Reddit and chat to have access to the Reddit thread. Parting complains about map hackers. Now, it's not the first time Koreans have complained that there's a lot of map hackers on the Korean server and that it's pretty depressing to play versus them. But this time it was a little bit more noticed. Since Parting is one of the most famous Koreans, and he claims that one of reasons StarCraft 2 getting worse is that since StarCraft 2 come out, Blizzard never catch map hacker. It's really fucking stressful when I lost to a map hacker. Now, right as he posted that on August 15, 2 weeks before July 29, Blizzard made a post that they suspended and banned a lot of accounts. So did people buy new accounts? Did what actually happened? There's no real way to know, but Chris, like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, if you were if you were working for Blizzard, what would you tell Parting, and what would you try to like do if you would do damage control or anything?
I would tell Parting that we ban in waves, that we can't just constantly ban people person to person, and that's it. Like,
where's that sign-on copy pasta, right? Like, oh, we're looking into it and all that.
yeah, no, but I'm serious. Like, what? I mean, of course everybody hates playing against hackers and stuff. I don't feel like hackers are killing the scene or killing the game. You get hackers in every game. It's just in StarCraft 2 specifically, hacking is hard to detect, hard to ban, and at the same time, it's such a huge thing in RTSs. Like, if you hack in CSGO, it's very easily identifiable, and they have systems in place that will check into that. When you think of like Dota 2 and LoL, if someone's hacking, it's not as a big deal as it is in StarCraft 2. In StarCraft 2, if you're hacking, you can literally change the game, and it's hard to put guilt on someone from like an observer standpoint without actually, physically detecting that hack and banning them in waves.
So the thing that's really irritating is like popular as Parting may be, I'm pretty sure they brought this up with like what Choya and one of the other coaches like on GSL, like the mainstream.
Oh yeah, a while back, yeah.
Yeah, but my point is like, okay, everyone gets riled up and they're like, yeah, hacking's fucking bad. We all get it, and then like it just goes away, and like Blizzard stops caring because they know everyone else is gonna stop caring. This is an issue that like if it really was the biggest problem in the world, people would be constantly passionate about. We wouldn't have this just die off like every other bit of drama that seems to happen in StarCraft 2. Like, I'm not disagreeing with Parting. I wholeheartedly agree. I think hacking is fucking insane, and the amount we interact with Korean players and how much I hear about this being an issue for their practice, like, that totally sucks, and it happens everywhere, and it just sucks that there's nothing they can do about it immediately. Like HuK said, you ban in waves, and that's unfortunately how it has to be done, because the second you ban somebody for hack A, everyone realizes that hack A is no good, and they start working in hack B. So it's like, there's really no great solution to this other than human beings just need to be fucking not shitty. But it's sad because this has been brought up and it's been really publicized before, and it went nowhere.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, I couldn't find the source. I don't know if I saw it on Heroes of the Storm subreddit or Overwatch or our games, but there was a copyright, like trademark being like applied for a compete platform of something. Like, I couldn't find the source, but Blizzard registered a trademark for something else that's to compete online. So I don't know if it's going to be their like official tournament platform, which is going to get rid of, which is going to, I guess, scan your computer maybe more, and it's going to, the anti-cheat is going to be more robust. But they have plans.
Wait, say that word again.
Robust. So it's like a robot, but he's got a busty, like, bust. All right.
If that's what you
robust.
Need to think about.
Thank you. Morrow, do you have anything to add? I just look at you and you make me smile.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Right.
Most definitely think we should move on.
All right. Well, let's go to the Reddit questions.
Okay, hold up. So before we do that, I was waiting for the topic to be over because I don't want to be rude and go back for like a really petty point. But on our previous talk about like the tournament hype and stuff, I actually have a question and it's like not, I don't know. The question I guess is what makes a tournament hype? I want to ask both HuK and Morrow this. So HuK first, like we talk about like tournaments getting more hype because like say like, and again, this can be one big tournament, let's say $25,000 for the prize pool, and it's got great Koreans playing. Does that make it hype for you? Is that what makes it more noticeable, or like what makes that tournament more noticeable?
It has to be different than every other tournament that's going on. The problem is that DreamHack, IM, Gfinity, it seems to happen very frequently. Like now that we're moving into like what I would consider the slow season for StarCraft 2, it's not going to be happening as much. But when you look at the schedule for the most part of the year, it happens so frequently that it's like every week, every 2 weeks, there's some tournament, and it's just like another 10K first place prize pool. It's, the same players that are always going. You have like 6 Koreans that are going to place in the top 8. You have maybe 1 or 2 foreign hopes that are going to place in top 8. And then other than that, it's just the same exact shit every time.
Well, fuck you, Rifkin, for not asking me. But for me,
You're
it's...
muted, by the way.
I agree completely.
desRow too. Sorry.
All right, go on, Morrow.
I don't have your camera, desRow, so it's
And-
really good.
And then on top of that, in between all that shit, it's like Pro League, online cups, you know, Euro events, base trade, you know, whatever there is, and then it's just like it's like that is literally the whole year. There's no like big thing that happens. There's no anything cool. There's nothing that I look at and I'm like, wow, I'm definitely gonna watch that. You know?
Well, let's hypothetically, right? We're not going to make tiny tournaments. Let's say there's one tournament, and it's not something that's consistent. So it's not a G50 that happens every 3 months, whatever. It's one tournament. It's $25,000, and let's just say at least 9 are some of the top Koreans in the world. Is that a good tournament or a bad tournament?
I mean, what?
It's a boring tournament.
How is that tournament different from any other tournament?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
because we
don't
keep referring
care.
to like small amounts prize pool, or there's 1 or 2 Koreans getting through.
If you did that tournament and you called it like who's the best foreigner and you invited all the best foreigners, I would watch that. And that would be like once a year. But you need if you want to invite all the top players, like all these top Koreans, and you multiply the prize pool by 2, or you make it in a cool location, or I don't know, something. But right now it's all the same shit the whole year round.
Wait, desRow, what about you?
For me, it's like it has to have like 3 or 4 really good Protoss, and like Parting in Rain isn't enough. Like for me, Shenzhen with Classic, Hero, and then I guess there was Rain and Parting, but just Classic and Hero, and just the other 2, and then there was this mix of you know, Snood was in a bracket. There was just really fun for me. That was like the one in the last 6 months that was the most fun outside of season 2 with Lilbo. But yeah, I kind of agree that it's more fun to see foreigners just because the storylines are there. Like, I think GSL and SSL, they kind of do a good job with players interview, but I can't sit down and listen to someone translate or read translation, or like that just bores me. It kills me inside. So because of that, I just get less personality out of the Koreans. So even though they're super good, the stories aren't there as good as it could be. That makes sense? That's how I see it. What about you, Mo?
Like I'm really excited for for GSL because I've been watching GSL since forever basically. I think like every day I get a little bit of hype out of Pro League. I think that's really exciting, and I love that format and so on. Because I know that these players really care about Pro League. They practice for it and all that. And it's it's different. These things are unique. But like these IMs or dream hacks, like call it dream hack or call it IM, like I don't care. It's the same thing to me. And I get this excited for WCS finals, like top 8 and so on. This is the foreigners tournament where we care the most about. Like everyone is practicing like crazy for this tournament, so we get to watch who the best foreigners are every time around. But DreamHack or IM, like I'm not really excited about it. IM last time around when they had the IM finals, where it's been building up all through the year, and then it's like 16 of the best Koreans in the world. That was really exciting to me. So every stop with like an IM or a DreamHack or whatever, or even your tournament Rifkin, it's all just blending together. It's all the same stuff to me. It's just another like whatever tournament to me. So I really like WCS finals the most.
All right. So we have all different point of views. Rifkin, did we answer your question in the end?
Well, I mean, I obviously have my own point of view different from everyone else's, and that's fine. Like, it's good to get insight too, because it's not just even for us, but for, let's say, that aspiring organizer who's got $50,000 in his pocket from daddy or something, right? Like he now knows like how to spend that money better. So the idea is like nobody does think the same, and even though I'd say Morrow and HuK are a little bit more aligned, it's still different answers. So this lower level of not exactly critical thinking, but just discussion, I think needs to happen more often. And I get frustrated that it doesn't, because a lot of the times it is just everybody circle jerking each other, or they glaze past the issues. And well, maybe not everyone agrees with my point of view. It's still something that I was at least happy I could raise.
I agree with HuK that like if you have a different tournament, that's really interesting too. For example, Homester Cup. That's always been hype to me, but not the actual tournament itself. Is more the atmosphere and so on. So I watch it more like I would watch it for entertainment and so on. But that's still hype and so on. Stories happen at Homester Cup and so on, and that's just because the tournament is very different.
Something that I would get really hyped for is, I don't know if I assume you remember, Morrow, when we did the like GSL event, foreigners versus Koreans, and it was an all-star team of, a good amount of foreigners versus, the Koreans, and it was supposed to be like, back then, the scene was so polarized. Korea was just Korea, and foreigners were just foreigners, and those two scenes were very separated. And then when they did play, it was very exciting and it was a lot of fun. And that's the general direction I wish StarCraft 2 stayed in and that we would move back towards. I feel like when you have that separation, you can still watch GSL, you can still watch Pro League, you can still watch those Korean online events. It's still something that if viewers really want to see the best players, they can do that. You might even see like a couple foreigners or whatever going to Korea and participating in that. And then if you want to cheer for your local heroes, whether, it's Canada, US, Sweden, France, whatever, you can see all those Western countries battle off against each other as well. And then a few times throughout the year, whether it be BlizzCon or maybe like a DreamHack or an IEM or whatever, you will get to see the Koreans versus, the top foreigners. And that's what the excitement comes from. But right now, it's just like, it's like all of StarCraft 2 / Blizzard's approach / just the way the scene is. It's a halfway point between, the same consistent shit every single week throughout the whole year for the last 3 years. And that's where in my opinion, big picture, the viewer fatigue and the lower viewership is coming from. Because people really don't have anything to get excited about. They really don't have anybody to cheer for. It's just the same shit all the time.
So, hold on. Would you say StarCraft 2 was on life support and the fucking life support was powered by you, Stefano, and then Nanny was Scarlet?
I don't think
because nothing really has changed. Like the same tournaments, the same companies, like the same formats, the same, like pretty much the same, but we just had more people to cheer for than we do now.
Games are always going to come and go. You're always going to have a, incline in viewership, decline in viewership as the game holds. It's going to happen with LoL, it's going to happen with CSGO, it'll happen with Dota 2 eventually. Like, it's eventually going to happen for all games. So to say that the scene would be the same or like, as big as it was back then is a lie. I think obviously not having like the foreign hope that can go up against the Koreans is a problem. But on top of that, it's just, when Koreans are dominating foreigners every single week in every single tournament, whether it's online or it's a DreamHack or it's an IEM or it's WCS or anything, there's no hype there. There's no one to get behind and cheer for. And when there is, like Little Bo, you'll see people rally. When there is for Stefano or Nanawa or even Jinro or Idra or whoever, that's where that hype comes from. That's why people tune in. They want to see those games. But right now, you don't see that because, for one, foreigner players don't have anything to play for besides WCS, realistically, money-wise. And for two, there's no, like, up until most recently with the French scene and them kind of pulling their shit together, there's really no localization where people are like, hey, let's get together, let's actually, practice hard for this because we can actually, do something here.
So,
go ahead.
Question that I was going to ask earlier. So, you and I, HuK, have very different opinions on region locking. I'm not going to try and change your mind on that or anything. I'm not going to argue it. But my question is, like, so in the foreigner world, let's say you've got this perfectly region locked dream, and instead of the Koreans coming to North America to beat you all senseless and take first place, you've got Snoot and Bunny and the other great Europeans. Does the problem then become, well, it should be super region locked, it should be North American only, or why is that okay but the Koreans aren't?
Because foreigners can actually go toe-to-toe. Like, if you look at the grand scheme of things of who the best players were, I would say, what desRow, similar to what desRow's list is, and I don't even have to put myself there, but me, Scarlet, Stefano, Nanawa, Idra, Jinro, that's a pretty even mix of North America versus Europe. So saying that North Americans can't be the best players, complete bullshit. right now, that is the way it is, and that has to do with like a lot of social cues, differences between North America and Europe, and just where the game is at in general. But to think like North Americans can't beat Europeans isn't true. It's just that's the way it is right now. So you're making that point right now. But if players actually like if you were gonna tell North Americans that they're gonna have a realistic shot of making top 4 consistently in WCS, they would practice a lot harder, and it would be the same exact thing for Europeans. You're already seeing that right now, slightly.
I was.
But if Pult, Hydra, all those Koreans aren't there, then it would be even more.
Yeah, I was.
Where foreigners would practice hard because they know that they can win guaranteed money up until a certain point, and it actually makes pro gaming a legitimate career option instead of just like, man, should I waste my life or should I not?
To add on this point, I was looking at the money for a season of WCS, 215K, 200, yeah, okay, $1,000. The people that don't make it to the round of 16, that's a total of $72,000 given to the bottom round of 32 of WCS. So take out all the Koreans, add that with Americans that don't have to, that can do
I feel like you're gonna have all these guys displaced though. Like for example, let's say Pult doesn't knock out Snoot. Well, Snoot's got Pult's place. Snoot's the new Pult. Let's say Showtime doesn't get knocked out.
But he's not.
Hydra doesn't.
But he's not. Snoot is not the new Pult. Showtime is not the new Hydra. Those guys, Hydra compared to Intense or me or Hitman or anybody is a lot closer or a lot further than it would be Snoot to me. I beat Snoot at Home Story Cup. If I play Hydra, I have no fucking chance. So
And-
that comparison isn't true at all.
And also, like, Hydra and Pult have, like, 5 to 6 years of, like, working in gaming house to learn how to
Yeah,
play the
but-
game better. And Snoot doesn't have that.
This whole forget the difference of Europe, North America for a second. In my head, what I'm seeing is like.
But that was your point.
I'm saying my point was bad, and I'm trying to put this in context that makes a little more sense to the point I'm trying to make, where you're still going to have the same players that can't make the round of 8 are still not going to make the round of 8. Like, okay, maybe they don't get smashed by Pult, but they get smashed by other good player, whether that's you or Snoot, American or European, it doesn't matter. I don't think it opens more spots. I think it gives more spots to the players who are already reaching those top tiers anyways.
The point we're talking about is it creates more hype and it creates more viewership. And I think having foreigners actually realistically training, like the point is if you want foreign players to be something to cheer for and you want them to go up against the Koreans, you need them to be motivated to play, to look at pro gaming as something that's actually beneficial for them. Which if you region lock it, it is. It's realistic. One of us, whiteys, have to win. Have to get top 2, have to get top 4, you know, and Pult, Hydra, all of them are not there anymore. And you have something to play for. Because right now, it's like, as a foreign player, if you're a pro gamer, and I don't even consider myself technically like a full-time pro gamer anymore, but I've been there and I know what it's like, they don't have anything to play for. They're hoping to get maybe top 8 or make it to Poland top 16, but that's realistically not something you can commit a full-time job to, you know?
I'm sorry to go in here and interrupt.
No.
I still bad for desRow. He wants to do questions, and I keep like.
No, it's
No,
fine.
but-
It's a
no,
good
but-
topic.
Fuck the questions. Okay, so I'm gonna go back a little bit and say like I thought a little bit about like what creates the hype. So it's like you wanna see who is best within a region, like who is the best player in the world. To find that out, that's really hype. How we do that doesn't really matter. Who's the best foreigner? That's really hype. We want to find that out. Who's the best Korean? And it's the same. It goes the same with that. And you can have like Nation Wars was really hype to me at least. We get to see like who's actually the best team and so on. And when Team Property played against Team Liquid, I'm not sure if you guys give a fuck about that, but I think that was really hype. Like Team Property, how will this top tier team do against Liquid? Like who's the best team here? So you always want to like find, you take like the chunk of players, like different regions and so on, like who was the best there. And I think that is what makes it really hype. So then you have like these different events like IEM and DreamHack and so on, and it's like DreamHack, what does that prove? It doesn't prove shit. Like a random DreamHack or a random IEM, it's just like who are the best players who went there. It doesn't tell us who's the best Korean, because GSL already does that, Star League already does that, and so on. So I think that's a big reason why those, like DreamHack event, isn't hype at all. And why it would be hype is, for example, IM last year with a shit ton of prize pool, or you have like actually you think this is the best Koreans all around the world, and that's really hype. So I think that's what you need for an event. If you're gonna have like a bunch of random players from random places and like 32 players and not include all the best Koreans, then you're suddenly in need of a shit ton of prize pool to make it exciting, because you need to find out who's the best, or you need to like you need to like know that the money is really sick, so that alone makes it a big deal. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, okay, my question then is like, what's the obsession with the best though? What does it matter knowing that? Like, let's say you have a bracket where Polt beats, or sorry, not Polt, let's go crazy. Let's say Flash beats all the Zerg in the world, and he's like GSL winner, but he can't win a single game versus Protoss. Or a more relatable example for some, Uthermal. Uthermal's like the best goddamn TVT player in the world, but he can't beat Zerg for shit. Like, does that really prove who's the best, and what's the context of the best? Why is the best such a big deal?
The best is, it's because it's entertaining for viewers to see who the best is.
Yeah, it's fucking competition. That's why we have tournaments, because you want the two best players.
But I feel like winning
fight
a
against
tournament
each other
doesn't make you the best, though. Even if you go through an entire
But that's
season
the problem.
GSL,
That's what Morrow is saying, is that at DreamHack you don't see the best. You see mediocre and some good Koreans and some foreigners, but maybe not all the foreigners. And then you get kind of this wish-wash, like, it's not a hype tournament, because you as a viewer aren't going into it with a thought like, man, I can't wait to see, the best foreigners play against the best Koreans, and the best Koreans play against the best Koreans. It's like, we got, tier 2 Koreans, maybe a couple tier 1s. Oh, Rain showing up? Well, he's pretty much going to win that tournament, and no one's going to stand in his way. That's not hyped. When you watch GSL or you watch Pro League, that is the best of the best. That's fun to watch. And when you see, WCS, or you see like foreigners play, you want to see like the best foreigners. You want to see who is actually the best foreigner. That's entertaining. But just seeing like this middle ground of like some good foreigners, some good Koreans, maybe like 1 or 2 top Koreans, and they're just going to win the event. That's not exciting. That's just oh, okay, exactly. That's another fucking tournament.
It's kind of my point. Like, if you just throw in a bunch of like your half-assed player list, like kind of random player list, it doesn't prove anything. Although you're right, Rifkin, we are playing StarCraft 2 here. Just because you win doesn't mean you're the best. Or if you get a lucky bracket or you get one matchup, that's a fair point. But like, that's why we have tournaments multiple times. Like, we have GSL 3 times a year, or Star League, or whatever you want to call it. So we get to see 3 times, and then you can always make your speculations on. But that guy is the winner. Like, he's the shit for 3 months.
My concern is this: you've got the best. We'll go with the best here. I'm sorry to use this phrase again. Korean, and then let's say WCS is regional locked, and you've got the best foreigner, or the best couple of foreigners, and everybody's going to meet up in BlizzCon to determine who's the best in the world. That's ultimately what Blizzard's always aiming to do, and at BlizzCon. You suddenly, and I'm going to borrow a phrase here that's probably going to offend people. I'm not taking shots at any region. It's just more of a quote from the movie Waiting. But like, you're the smartest kid with Down syndrome. Congratulations, you're still not going to stand a chance against the Koreans over here. It's like watching Jane Allen play against like a Diamond League player. No. Super segmented like that.
But the problem is, right now, as a foreign player, it's not realistic to expect any foreign player to play this game and take it seriously full time, because there's no real money in it. It's a complete waste of time for foreign players. If you region lock WCS and you guarantee them 3 seasons, $200 and whatever $1,000 it ends up being, and that's only going to your regions, they will actually have something to practice for. They have a realistic shot. Someone has to make top 4. Someone has to make top 8. Right now, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to school and I'll play StarCraft 2 on the side because I love the game. But as a player, I can't view this as like an actual job because I'm not going to actually make any real money off of it. That's the problem.
So I think a lot of this comes out of climate for the NA scene, obviously. We've always talked about that, yeah.
But in North America, like if you want to go into that, it's like it's even harder to be a pro player in North America because we don't have free school, we don't have the same social program set up that Europe does, where they have an easier time where if pro gaming doesn't work out in a few years, they can just go back to school. In North America, if you miss that window, if you're living at home, you do this and you totally bust out. A lot of people, they don't have money to go to school to pay, tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's the problem. No one can look at pro gaming right now in StarCraft 2 and say, I can make $40,000 this year if I do pretty good. They just think, man, like, sure, Little Bo did well, but realistically, am I gonna have a chance of making top 4 in WCS? No. It's too hard because you got Polt, Hydra, everybody else that's in these scenes. And then on top of that, you have every DreamHack, every IAM, every LAN, even your tournament, Rifkin. We have fucking True, Jaedong, Heart, whoever, like all these guys showing up, and that's just there's no hope for foreigners right now to take this seriously or invest time into the game.
All right. There was one question or one point being brought up by Fear Dragon in chat, and I thought it was pretty good. I'm trying to scroll up. So do you guys feel like the stories aren't being set up, or the stories can't be set up because of the format?
Yeah, because this is the whole point. It's the same shit. It's some Koreans, some foreigners, maybe not the best Koreans, maybe not the best foreigners even, and you send them to a tournament, and there's like 1 or 2 really good Koreans that are better than the rest, like Rain, and then they just win or Hero or whoever, it doesn't matter which one, and then they just win the tournament, and that's it. And what story is there when that's the only story we see all year round at every single fucking tournament?
I feel like one thing that's hurting the storylines is that every tournament, like Gfinity, DreamHack, IEM, is very inconsistent with which Korean actually shows up. So there's no way to set up storylines like let's say
we need a wrestling belt that can be passed between tournaments, obviously. So it'll start with Health Smooth Time, and then the next guy's going to be defending champion for the next tournament. They'll pass that belt on if they lose or win. There's your story.
That'd be sick. He brings the belt to the tournament, and he gives it to
you got to return the trophy. You got to keep fighting for it. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Well, that was a very interesting debate. We'll see if next year is our year. They haven't announced anything.
Like, I'm not angry. I'm very passionate about StarCraft 2. I love the game, and I hate to see it the way it is. And it's in my head. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but in my head, I see it like clear cut. This is the way I would do it if it was my choice. And I'm trying to argue for that point. Sorry, I'm just like kind of addressing chat because it's being retarded a little bit. But
yeah.
It's good to be passionate, though, by the way. You don't want fucking boring people discussing this. Like, if HuK's sitting here with like half yawning these responses, obviously he doesn't care. If you guys are mistaking anger, that's probably a good thing a lot of the time.
Like, hold on, I'm looking up last year's. Last year, what was it? It was in September that they announced the changes for WCS. So, like, as we discussed this, is literally like the best time to try to get the ball rolling one way or the other. So I guess that's also a message to Reddit. Like, if you don't like the way it's being done this year and right now is the time to be vocal if you want to have a shot at making at molding the future of StarCraft. And with that, we're gonna answer the questions on Reddit, my favorite time of the show. Are you guys ready?
So ready.
All right. I know you guys discussed this Legacy of Void change, but I also would be interested if you guys are happy with the beta overall. Blizzard stated the following at the start of the beta. Our goal for this expansion is to work together with all of you to make Legacy of the Void as awesome as possible. For this reason, we decided to start a beta sooner than we normally would have in the past. This should provide ample time for feedback and iteration. His question is, do you guys think the beta did change enough big things? In the last community feedback, David Kim stated that we will have 1 month left to experiment. Is this really enough? So I will settle for that question. Morrow. Oh, go ahead, Rifkin. No, go ahead. If you're inspired, I'm not going to stop you, man.
I feel, okay, so I feel I got, we've done a lot of Legacy of the Void content. In fact, we've probably done the most Legacy of the Void content. So I've seen a lot of goods and bads. What I don't like is it really feels like they do. It almost feels like like an excuse. Like, oh yeah, we're helping the community do this, when we make radical changes, it doesn't look like it's just totally out of the blue and bullshit for no reason. Like, there's been some changes that have been like that in the beta. Missile turret change, Oracle change, nerf on some abilities. Like, they've just kind of done it, and there was no feedback for it. There was nobody who said this is broken or this is good. They just did it. Then the things that people say are good or are broken or do need to be fixed, they don't tweak and they don't change. So I don't know their thought process, and I know I tried to ask a bunch of this when we were at Blizzard, NDA, so we can't talk about it, but like, I've never been at a point where I'm like, okay, I totally understand why they're doing this. Like, this whole thing with the beta almost just seems like I don't know, smoke and mirrors.
Whoa. Just when you thought Rifkin was a shill, turns his back on the money.
No, I mean,
and
I've got so much respect, and there's so many cool things coming, and there's all this good stuff. So like, I'm very positive about all this. But there are instances where it comes to beta changes where I just don't get where they're coming from or where their thought process was.
Well, yeah, that reminds me of like the Oracle speed boosts and Art of the Storm. Morrow,
Yeah.
what about you?
Yeah, as a guy who's been around since, ever since Wings of Liberty release, I have to say they're doing a lot better this time around, like 10 times better at least. Everything is just so much better. Communication, the actual changes they do mostly make so much more sense than it used to, and they listen to feedback somewhat at least.
I know you were really active on the Heart of the Swarm beta forum before like they shut it down because of a Avillo. I'm just kidding. Kind of not. But do you feel like that's something that could also add to the experience, that could enhance the beta process?
To have a forum like that?
Yes. Do you think that would be like a good thing to repeat? Maybe make it more exclusive?
Yeah, I'd be sure. Maybe like we had a Skype chat, and it seemed like it was completely useless. Like, for example, I would give feedback to one of the Blizzard guys, and he wouldn't give a fuck. Like,
but like
David
David would reply to you on that forum, though. That would be the difference from Skype.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that should have been done from the start, which is very weird to me that it wasn't. But overall, they're doing so much better than they used to. So I can actually forgive them for the terrible things they have done. For example, with the missile turret and so on. Which is just, they just make random changes, like just nobody's saying anything about snipe, or actually there's some things about snipe, but then what they do is that they just ignore everything we said about snipe, and they're just like, all right, let's just make snipe completely new ability, just completely new abilities out of the blue, and it's just like, what the fuck is this, But for the most part, it's really good, and I think they're changing enough things. Actually, after playing now and thinking about it, I think the worker change, going from 6 to 12, it might not seem a big deal, but I think it actually is a big deal for casual players and for the game as a spectator sport. Just jumping into the games immediately speeds everything up so much, and it's so much more fun to just sit and watch. And I can imagine for a lot of casuals giving StarCraft a shot, they just get bored with early game. It's like so terrible. So I think that's the biggest change as far as spectating it. But with the mineral changes and all that, that's gonna give longevity to StarCraft 2. That's gonna make hardcore fans like me stick around and keep playing the game and say it doesn't suck after 2 years, because it actually has good design from the ground. And lastly, they're rehauling Protoss and so on, and changing Warp Gate, in my opinion, is the biggest thing about Protoss. The second was Force Field, and Force Field is being addressed by the Ravagers. So overall, I'm happy about their big changes.
All right, Chris, anything to add as the last person on this topic?
No.
So I think the reason you guys don't let Morrow talk is because it always comes out a book at a time. I was fucking waiting to lay like this awesome burn down in chat, dude, because this guy got like super wrecked, and I just couldn't fit it in there. And now if I say it, it's not funny anymore. God damn it, Morrow.
To be honest, like sometimes with Morrow talk, I wish I could pop Adderall so I could like really follow everything he says. But when I do follow, it's so amazing and so insightful. Thank you, Morrow, for taking the time.
Well, I'm sure some guy listened and he was impressed.
That guy was David Kim.
Yeah, he mentioned it to me when we spoke to him. All right, next question, Rifkin. I don't know if all right, who would win a sumo wrestling match between Rifkin and desRow?
Fucking Rifkin. You know why?
Why?
You go all try hard, and you come charging at me. I just move out of the way like a bullfighter. You run right out of the ring. Easy peasy win for me.
Yeah, probably true. You're probably quicker than me. It's like a semi truck, right? If I have to stop, it takes a while.
Yeah, there's no brakes on this train, man.
Yeah, rip.
Choo choo.
Let's see what else there is. Oh Jesus. What would any
You know
of
what you should do?
what?
You should always have like 3 fake questions ready. So if everyone
Oh
like, above
yeah,
questions are
okay.
totally
Here we
shit,
go. Here we go with a fake question. See, everyone keeps complaining about photon overcharge. I really feel like they're a bunch of crybabies. Like they walked on a Lego once and they were like, "I'm fucking done with this toy." Like,
no, shut the fuck up.
no.
This is
Listen.
the
I
big
feel
man.
like the photon overcharge is like it's fine. That's like how I feel like it's the nostalgia talking where like people used to win with like 10 Marines walking across the map.
I feel like at the highest level, most pro gamers will not complain about photon overcharge anymore.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a defense. Like when you think about how much a queen can do, I mean, damage-wise, it's one cannon.
So
Literally.
it's 20 damage and it is a cannon and it's objectively not that much. I agree, but the problem is the timings that it saves the game and lets people play is what makes it so stupid.
Protoss need that.
Well, that's the thing though. That's the problem.
Arguable.
Protoss
That's
shouldn't.
very very arguable. HuK.
Yeah, well, it's arguable whether they need it in the first place. I agree, but it's more arguable that they shouldn't have to need it in the first place. Like there should be no situation where you as a Protoss player are caught with one stalker. Right? Like, I'm not saying, again, this has nothing to do with balance of the actual race or anything, but it's like, you're caught with one stalker, and that's it. There's like Marines coming in. Of course, you've got that one button press defense. But that one button press defense shouldn't be what the solution is. The
Well,
solution
yeah,
should
sure.
be
If
cheaper,
Blizzard's
but less
gonna,
durable units or something, so you've got better fighters. Like, there's so many things wrong with the fact that Photon Overcharge exists more than the balance of the ability itself.
if Blizzard's gonna buff all gateway units for Protoss or something, or completely change the game, then sure, get rid of photon overcharge. But at the current state, it is very much needed in almost all aspects of the game.
Okay, so basically you're changing right now warp gates, so Protoss can actually have stronger gateway units, or they will probably need better gateway units after
Yes.
the warp gate change. So you will have stronger units. We have something like Adept, and it's actually strong. You can actually defend with that. You do have natural defender's advantage through having a nerfed warp tech, since you are building your units at home more efficiently, just like Terran would. So you do have, natural defender's advantage. Although force field is getting, semi-fucked because Ravager is out. That's another reason why gateway units need to be stronger. And what's gonna happen is, or what hopefully will happen is,
That's the key there.
gateway units will actually become stronger. So if you attack a Protoss into a choke of gateway units, they can actually defend. So I think in the current state, under the direction they're going, you wouldn't need photon overcharge anymore. Like if you can warp in units in 2 seconds to defend a drop, you just warp in units, and so on. Like I don't think it's needed.
Theoretically, yes. If that happens, then I am very happy. But the big question is that going to happen? Really? If it happens, then yeah, sure. Then no Protoss player is going to complain. But as of right now, it's kind of a big what if. And it's
Chrono, then it's the overcharge. Blizzard is on its path to righteousness.
Like photon overcharge is sort of a band-aid fix, like the way it came. So the problem with photon overcharge is that any player can defend equally well. You just put down photon overcharge. Whereas with Terran, let's say you need to build a bunker, and it's like, where do you put the bunker? There's like all this bunch of like micro,
kind of like cannons, maybe.
Yeah, they're similar to cannons. Like there's a lot of micro involving with defending with Terran. And Zerg also has, micro, because they can move around queens. They have units to fuck around with. So a better player can perform better defense, whereas photon overcharge is not really the case. So if you just slam down photon overcharge, like anyone can do that, and that's kind of not exciting. So we don't really want that in the game.
But generally speaking, it's not like you're just throwing down photon overcharge. A lot has to do with when you make the mothership, how much energy it has, when you use it, if it's worth it, whether you're going to need it in a few minutes to defend another push. If there's another drop coming, you use it in combination with other units. Like, it's not just like, oh, okay, just photon overcharge. Like, there is things you think about before just using photon overcharge. It's not that simple.
Yeah, but every unit.
Here's my counter.
No, Rifkin. Every unit, and like all your build orders, everything is planned out for every single race. I don't think you can like say that a mothership core you build that has any more strategy to when you would build a bunker, when you would build.
Exactly, I'm saying it's this. Then what's your point if you're saying they're the same?
So yeah, so you have the strategy part, right? So you have the pre-planning and everything like that, and consequences, running out of energy and all that. But what you don't have is the execution. Like you don't micro.
Okay.
You put it down, and that's it.
I'm on the same page with you, Morrow. Okay, but here's where I was gonna say with this, and this has a lot to do with control. And please God, guys, forget balance for a second, because this has nothing to do with Terran or Protoss. But the context is, I've seen a lot more players lose a game to a Zealot stalking a mothership core, walking across the map and killing a Terran player, because there's nothing they can do no matter how good they micro. Whereas Terran player goes to the early push, boom, overcharge. Maybe like 1 in 10 of those games actually ends in the Protoss defeat. Like it's just so dumb that it's such a. You've got on one side just the impossible, you can't stop it, and then on the other side it's like, hey, this covers like 90% of everything.
I don't really agree with that, and I don't think we're gonna really get anywhere with this discussion at this point. But I'm fine with photon overcharge not being in the game as long as there's other options for Protoss.
Yeah, if there's better options for Protoss and they don't need it in the first place, I think everybody's happier with that.
All right. All right. Okay. A recent thread on Team Liquid brought up the topic of the current map pool on BlizzCon and questioned if they were suitable for it. What are your thoughts? Basically, some of the maps have terrible win rates, and the Koreans don't use Bridgehead, they don't use Moonlight Minus, they don't use Dash and Terminal. Is it suitable for BlizzCon to use a map pool like this when GSL and SSL doesn't use a map pool?
I want to answer this.
Yes, go ahead.
Even, like, I casted Gfinity, Ace Strog, WCS very recently. Almost all the time we're seeing fucking Coda. We're rarely seeing Moonlight Madness. We're kind of sometimes seeing Bridgehead, and we're rarely seeing Dash and Terminal. But I honestly don't feel like that's a problem, because when somebody does pick those maps, usually they have some specific build or a specific strategy for those maps. I like the map pool a lot. I think the ban pick phase in the map pool right now makes it very interesting, depending on the matchup, the races, the players even. I like variety, and I like the map pool right now, and I'm happier with this map pool than I have been with previous map pools.
Morrow, Rifkin, anything to add?
No, I'm fighting with chat, so.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't fully hear the question.
Yeah. Basically, BlizzCon map pool is going to use WCS map pool, while GSL and SSL use a much more balanced map pool that doesn't have questionable maps like Bridgehead, Moonlight Madness, and Dash and Terminal.
I like these maps.
Okay. Morrow.
So what was the question?
The question is it suitable for BlizzCon to use WCS maps while GSL and SSL doesn't? And most of the players at BlizzCon are from GSL and SSL.
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. It would seem more fair if they did with the Korean map pool.
I think it'd be cool
that makes more sense to me.
If they held Koreans up to the same standards as the rest of the world, just period, would be great. Like, I don't care about the map pool, it doesn't stop there. Quality of broadcast, rules, prize pool payouts, limitations. Like, Korea is supposed to technically listen to Blizzard, But Blizzard, for some reason, just lets them do whatever the fuck they want with literally everything.
Yeah, like the problem is this is fucking WCS. This is WCS finals. You should use the WCS map pool. Like Koreans, like a lot of time in Pro League, they were fucking playing on King Sejong Station up until I don't even know. Are they still playing on the map?
No, they
There
swept
was
it out.
last season. It was
Like
up to last season or something. But
yeah.
yeah, they were still playing on
up
it.
until very like if they don't want to change their maps, then that's their fault in my eyes. Like this is the WCS map pool. This is what WCS tournaments are using. That should be what BlizzCon is using. Like I feel for the players, but at the same time, you see all these players anyways go to foreign tournaments and have to play them as well. You see Hero, you see Rain, you see, you know, all these guys go to DreamHacks, IEMs, and they have to play WCS map pool anyways. I really don't see the problem.
The last time.
That's a very good point, HuK. I kind of feel indifferent here. I think that the problem in the first place is that we're not doing Kespa map pool. I think Blizzard should just accept the fact they're better at making maps and all that.
But,
just give that to them.
But BlizzCon is to celebrate the best players, and the best players practice on those maps, and so not giving them those maps will make the game quality a little bit worse. No? No?
I think a lot of the world, players especially, look up to Korea for new strats on maps especially, or builds. And if they're not playing on these maps, the foreigners have less to build off of. If that makes sense? Like, I think it would be a lot better worldwide if you had everyone play on the same maps.
Yeah, but WCS is a lot more well, I guess more proactive, but then again, sometimes it does, yeah. I don't know, it's interesting. What about, just crazy like that, I just had a thought. What if, like a month before BlizzCon, the map pool for BlizzCon was revealed, and you had like maybe like a map from Season 2, a map from Season 1, a map from Season 3, and then like 2 or 3 new maps just for BlizzCon? Would it be crazy? Would it be hype? Would it be dumb? Am I desRow and am I dumb? Chris, I'm sure you'd love to answer this one.
I wasn't paying attention until I started hearing that you were dumb, and then I did. What was
I said like a unique map pool for BlizzCon with new maps, and maybe repeats from Season 1, Season 2, Season 3.
No,
No?
I think that'd be pretty, like how much the game has changed since those seasons. It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. Maybe if they announced it at the beginning of the year and said like we're gonna have a new change for BlizzCon this year. 2 months before BlizzCon, we're gonna release like a very different map pool. It's gonna be completely different to what Korea's used or we've used on Ladder or WCS. And anybody that's gonna be going to BlizzCon is gonna have to practice. I think that would be possibly exciting. Like this is a new tournament, new maps. You're gonna see, because whenever new maps come out, we see like people gradually get better at playing on them. Like first like they do something really stupid, and then that's like a strategy that used for 2 weeks, and then we learn to defend it, and then we adapt, and then finally we end up at a map that's like overgrowth, and it's just like, these are the things that you do on this map, that's just how it is. We've played it long enough, it's completely figured out. And to see players do that without seeing those stupid little mistakes, and we see new maps with like very perfected strategies, because everybody's going to practice a lot for BlizzCon, then I think that would be cool, but at this point it's too little too late, and there's no way.
But for next year though, if you look at it, if they have 3 seasons, so we've had these maps since 1st of July, okay, since the qualifier, and after Season 3 ends, they should have like a Season 4 map pool that's used for like the new tournaments and BlizzCon. Like, why continue on?
The Dream Pool.
No, fuck that. But
the Dream Pool, desRow.
But don't you agree that like just like the map pool is a little too stale? Like that's silly, right? They could do that.
So my only thing of this is I bring this up because I've got a lot of friends who make maps, and making good maps is really hard. Having a whole season of new maps for no real reason would actually be really unlikely to happen. There's just not enough people who make them.
But I'm not talking about like 7 maps. I'm talking about like the usual rotation. Yeah.
Like even if it's just 4 new ones, like they need the inspiration of the Team Lego map contest. You've got some people who will make maps, and I'm not taking anything away from them, but to make like a good map or a balanced map or a great map, something like worthy of winning like a Team Lego map making contest, that doesn't come along often. Not unless there's actual money involved or inspiration for it. And even then, Like this last contest was total shit because Blizzard had like these weird requests for like, hey, put back rocks in every fucking base, right? Like maps are something I think a lot of people take for granted, and the map makers are definitely people who need to be appreciated more if we wanted something like that to happen.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you seem to be getting a lot of criticism in chat. Guys, there's a reason I keep inviting Rifkin, is because, like, even though he might not be up to your level in terms of skill, his opinion is, he's always playing devil's advocate, and he has different opinions, and he's interesting to hear. So if, like, you just want to rustle him and flame him, that's your choice, but fuck you, and he'll stay on the show. Alright, next up, is there going to be an after party on Saturday? One guy's asking on Reddit. He really wants to go hard, I guess.
Yeah,
Doesn't it end on Sunday?
Ends on Sunday.
Yeah. But also, there was still something on WSR.
desRow's he already knows he's gonna be out by Friday, so he's like, fuck
but
it.
desRow's not fucking drinking anything anyways. He's not like, oh, it's got calories in the beer, I can't drink it.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's true. You're a pussy, desRow. You can't say anything.
Wow. I still like to hang out with you guys.
Real talk though.
I don't.
Covered it. We already kind of covered it at the start of the episode. I'll bring it up again though real quick. We don't have money or Twitch sponsorship of Blizzard for any sort of crazy after party. We're going to get some people together. We're going to try to drink. Maybe it'll be a bar. Maybe it'll be somewhere else. Bring your own booze. I don't know. Just have a good time hanging out with people. We don't have anything like super official planned. There's no sponsorship of an after party. But if there's that one rich guy out there who wants to...
The big question for me is, what is the retarded thing you're going to do, desRow? Because every time we see each other, do something retarded.
Hey, last time you were the one that did something retarded.
No, you walked up to me and you literally like chopped me in the stomach for no reason.
No, I said for the watch. We had that discussion before, man. We had no.
You're in,
so
like,
you basically walked up. You were like, hey, let me just spoil things for you, HuK. Like, what if you hadn't seen that shit yet, desRow?
No, really dude, that was very tame. It was like...
You literally stabbed me in the stomach with this hand. And like, we were mid-conversation. I was like, hey, desRow, tell me something funny. I'm like standing there talking to someone. He just comes up and goes, for the match! And then like, who does that, man? How old are you?
Yeah, then you did like a fucking Mortal Kombat combo of like 7 punches in my belly, man. It hurt.
Good. Now you know how I feel.
Hey, desRow.
What?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Smell map.
Who? Smell map? What?
Smell map.
Smell map who?
Ew, no, I don't want to. That's really gross.
I'm too French for this shit, Rifkin. God damn it, you and your jokes. Alright. HuK, I really enjoyed your casting at WCS. What is your focus right now?
I don't get it. HuK, what's the joke? Can you explain?
Huh? I wasn't listening. What did he say?
Smell
okay.
my poop.
Smell my poop. Smell my poop. I guess.
Alright.
Rifkin, you're banned.
Alright. HuK, I really enjoyed your casting at WCS. What is your focus right now in terms of casting or playing? Any shot at casting WCS finals?
First off, I will always play a tournament if I have that option over casting it. For the most part. Like, let's say Rifkin's like, hey, HuK, do you want to come cast Hell About Time, or would you rather play it? I'll give you $3,000 to cast it. Then I'm probably going to fucking cast it, because realistically, $3,000 is $3,000, and like there's just... But in general, I've never gotten the choice to cast an event or play an event, and I picked casting over playing. Let's say that. I've always played it. And go ahead.
I was going to say, I get a test of this. He's not just saying this for the sake of things, guys, because HuK actually was really nice. HuK offered, he's like, hey man, I want to help out with your guys', this is really into it too. I want to help out with you guys' tournament however way I can. I can cast and play, I can do whatever. And obviously we'd love to have him play, so he's playing instead of casting. Like, HuK is, he's got his priorities straight.
Yeah.
Just
and then as far as WCS finals go, the one in Poland I will not go to. I actually have another StarCraft 2 event I'm going to be going to, which isn't announced yet, but I'm sure it will be shortly. And then I don't know about BlizzCon. I would love to cast BlizzCon, but no idea. That's it.
All right.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Yo, who's fucking casting MSI? And is this really happening, or is this like a local legend?
Isn't MSI the same weekend as BlizzCon?
No, it's the same weekend
As
as
the-
Santa Monica
It's
Red Bull event.
PAX.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's also PAX too, but like,
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't mean BlizzCon. I
Who's
meant
casting
season 3
that?
finals.
who's
I
casting that? Does anyone even know?
it's as far as I know, it's a lot of ESL talent from North America.
Okay. I was
That's-
curious because the Liquipedia is like Todd and Axel Toss, and I was like, okay.
If it was Axel Toss, I'd be very surprised. To be honest, because I think someone like asked to
I mean,
see
it's
if
been
I could
6
cast
months
it.
since he randomly surfaced, so it would be about that time for him to come do something.
I would be really surprised.
When is season 3 WCS Poland? Oh, it's September 9. I see. I
Yes.
see. Okay.
yes.
All right. Next up, we have. No, we answered that. Thank you, Lost Patrol, for all the good questions. His last question is, Rifkin, have you been working out?
It depends on the definition of working out is, I guess. I've been walking a lot more lately.
Nice. Do you want to expand on that, or that's it?
I mean, I could go full desRow and start bragging about it on Twitter every 3 seconds, or I don't know. Like I'm not like trying to rapidly lose weight or nothing like that. I just started walking more. I've lost some weight, and that's kind of it. I'm not like hitting up a gym or anything. I'm not sure what the question means. I don't have anyone to ask me, do you work out?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Go.
I just want to throw that out that I also walk. I'm pretty hardcore about it. Yeah.
Dude, do you fast walk? Do you think like you clench your butt together and just like go really fast? I do that sometimes.
No, that's gay.
Gotta take like really short strides though, so you can move faster.
No, it's more of a.
Yo, Morrow,
I'm doing it
my-
right
you know.
I'm doing it right
my
now.
older brother's gay, man. How can you say that's gay? Come on, have some sensitivity towards the other.
Clench his butt while walking and doing this.
What does that necessarily make it gay, man? Don't be
Yeah,
so
Morrow.
prejudiced.
You just assume
Some
he's like
people-
stroking some big dick when he's doing this or something? Like what the fuck?
Yeah. He just likes to work his glutes out, man, when he walks. So he squinches them together and just. Come on,
All right,
have an open mind, man.
I'll let you do your thing, and I'll do my thing.
Yeah.
But no, Rifkin, I think he was asking because obviously like people care about you and they've seen you like tweet pictures of walking, so they, it's always nice to know what you're up to and to hear more from you. That I think that's what the question came about, and I think it's always a little bit awkward when you ask someone and they're slightly overweight or whatever, like, are you working out? Because it's like you don't want to.
What's the baby do?
Yeah, you don't know if they want to share or anything, so that's cool. That's good. I'm happy for you, man. And with that concludes the show, guys. We're gonna do the shoutouts and then be on our way. And part 1 of Remax will be uploaded very shortly. I tried to upload it during the show, but my internet needs to be arranged for that in the future. But yeah, let's go with Mo. What are you up to next? Any goals? Any plans? Is the potato gonna get a friend?
There's one goal, desRow. One goal. That's top 1 Grandmaster and Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
Currently top 12. Pretty good.
You're not protest.
That's how to brag. What's that?
You're not even protest. How are you gonna make that happen? You got like top 5 maybe realistically as Terran, dude. Come on.
No. I've done some brainstorming with my Twitch chat. We're gonna figure this out, how to defend our depths. All right, so basically I'll be streaming every day, hopefully, which is happening usually midday Central European time. So you should come check that out at Twitch TV/Morrow. That's pretty much all I do these days. And finally, I wanna wish Rifkin best of luck with your tournament. I'm very happy that you managed to meet your goals with the fundraiser and all that.
Thank you, Morrow. Thank you.
What about you, Rifkin? What are you up to next? Anything exciting going on in your life?
Dude, before talking about that, you brought up the internet a second ago. Holy fuck, Toronto fiber optic internet is bullshit, dude.
Why?
Like, for those who don't know, I get 100 down megabytes, 100 down, 5 up at home, and it's $125 a month, and that's the best I can get on the West Coast where I live. Here, this apartment I'm staying in, this girl doesn't even fucking play video games, dude. She pays like $70 a month, and it's 50 down, 50 up. That's 50. What the fuck? Toronto, please. This is bullshit.
Yeah, but then again, Chris had some issues the other day because someone was he was staying at someone downtown and the internet was too shit. So it's hit or
Like,
miss,
I
right?
love how you're just like unloading all of my shit publicly.
Did I?
Yeah,
You had a
pretty much.
You had a sleepover with like a friend from like your childhood. What's wrong
I mean,
with
he
that?
was taking like cutesy date photos with Henry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, fucking Henry, poor Henry. All right, but yeah, Rifkin. So, are you excited for this weekend?
I'm nervous as fuck if we're gonna be honest. It's my first live event we're really casting. Home Strike Up was nice to cast in person, but that was not in front of an audience. And to be honest, I'm just hoping I don't choke. I know the event's gonna go really well. We got a great crew of both production and casters. Some people have argued that our player list sucks. I think it's fucking awesome. We got so much fun shit we're doing too with the pizza party, ice cream party, all this other stuff. I think the event's gonna be great. I'm just worried about me. Rifkin don't choke. Outside of that, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be phenomenal. And if you guys are in the Toronto area, please do come. Tickets are still on sale through Eventbrite. We are currently at about half capacity for the overall venue, which is kind of nice. About 121-ish people, I think, are registered to come, plus whatever from Kickstarter, so that's 35. Outside of that, people were asking if there's going to be day passes. We're not technically making a decision on that till tomorrow, but there's a high chance that if we don't sell out, there will maybe be day passes. So if you can't make it all weekend, keep an eye on Twitter, keep an eye on our Facebook, keep an eye on Team Liquid, because if day passes become available and you only want to come for the Sunday or something, that might be an option. Presently, it's not, but it might be.
And do you have any idea of the pricing for people that might be wondering for those day passes, or that's not been decided yet?
It's not going to be expensive. Nothing we've done has been expensive. I mean, fuck, it's $27 for a weekend pass. I don't have a price, though. Again, this is something Zabrio and I will have to debate and discuss. Because it really depends on how many are left over. Like, if we've got, let's say we had, like, we've already sold a good chunk of spectator tickets, but let's say we had sold none, we'd make them dirt cheap just to fill up the venue type thing, right? So it depends on how many tickets are left to really scale the price. But yeah, come by, guys. If you got a ticket, you're getting a poster from Blizzard that's like worth $15. You already paid for like most of your ticket anyways. If you come on the Saturday, you're gonna have ice cream. You're gonna have pizza on us. We're gonna have a photo booth on Sunday. There's gonna be tons of stuff we're giving away. Fuck, if you guys haven't seen the cards yet, let me just show these off really quick because they look super duper good. I got a bunch of players on them. Or put it in the camera would probably be nice. These are really high quality. We got some. Hey, look at that guy. He's pretty good looking. Where's he from?
He's Mr. Grumpy Pants.
It's like when you see that guy
Hydra.
in a movie.
It's Hydra.
Yeah, Hydra. Yeah, it's Hydra. Thank you. I was trying to remember what his name was. Anyways, we got some extra card packs we could just be throwing out to the crowd. We got plushies and other cool shit. I can't show you guys because it's like way over there. But we got some good stuff. So come by. You'll have a good time. Get your money's worth, I guarantee you.
Wait, Morrow, you're making emotes about Firekick and TLO?
Maybe. Work in progress.
That's fucking brilliant. That Firekick emote is gonna haunt me at night, man. It really will. All right, HuK, what about you? What are you up to next besides being grumpy at me?
Well, I'm going to be going to the base trade event. I'll see some cool people like Rifkin there. Try to avoid some weird people like desRow there. Other than that, right after that event, I'm actually going to Santa Monica to play in the Red Bull event. I'd made the unsmart choice of picking MC as my partner. So we got 2 retired players going to go at it with the boys, see how we do. Probably going to end up being horrible, but I'll do my best. And then I think that's it. And then I'll be there until about September. But other than that, I'm streaming for a few days. Just got to make that fucking EG money. I have a certain number of hours I have to do. I haven't streamed at all this month because I've been super busy. So I'm trying to cram. Just come watch me suck at StarCraft if you get a chance. And that's about it.
I got a question about that. Do they just track hours you broadcast, or can you pull like a 4GG and just rebroadcast a broadcast you've done, or like does it have to be shit?
It's good faith, right?
Yeah, it's good faith. I don't think they check it super intently, but if they did, it would be like broken trust kind of thing, I guess.
Okay, no, I don't know because I didn't know if you could even talk about it, like if there's a big contract NDA or something. But guys,
I'm sure it is, but I do what I want.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a badass, right, Morrow?
Yeah, you're so cool for not reading your contract.
There you go.
It's a fucking rebel without a cause, man. Just missing a leather jacket.
Oh, that was good, Mo. That was a very good line. So anyway, as for me, I'll be posting these on YouTube. I'll also be posting a vlog of my trip to Toronto. I bought a $700 camera for that. Gonna be trying it out this weekend. So I hope you check out the YouTube. And Chris, why did you leave? Wow, this guy, he's
I just want to hear
unreal.
about your home videos, desRow, and the way
Yeah,
you
but
take video of him sleeping and shit.
all right. So I'll pull. He said don't forget to host me. I guess I'll go host someone else. Just kidding.
Oh man,
I'm just
you're
kidding.
a host creature, right? You're losing everybody. See you later, desRow. I'm out of this.
All right.